Hello everybody and welcome to this week's vlog. I am David, as you may know. So full disclosure, I was kind of stuck after doing my blog below. And so I was sitting here and I was thinking, well, of course, politically, we're not great, but there might be some social things that are kind of holding back the way that we look at wastewater and the way that we use it. The next logical step for me was Googling. And I found a document by the CRC for water sensitive cities. And it talks about water literacy, so what Australians actually understand about water. They conducted a study on just over 5,000 people about what they actually understood about water, and a few questions were specific to wastewater, and there's three that I want to point out, with only just over a quarter of this sample size answering it correctly, was this one. Domestic wastewater is treated before entering waterways. The second least correctly answered was separate pipes are used for domestic wastewater and stormwater. And then this question here was only answered correctly by about 40% of people. The amount of water available for us is finite. 60% of people in this sample size, and of course you've probably done statistics so we can blow that up to the population, think that our water is infinite. So I moved on to see if this public outlook was actually affecting how we make decisions about wastewater recycling. It turns out in 2006, residents of Toowoomba voted down a scheme to drink their own purified sewerage. And let's put this in context, that was in the face of a critical water shortage. Then, 2 years later, Queensland was publicly pressured to squash plans to put recycled wastewater into the Wivenhoe Dam. And again, a wastewater recycling scheme in Goulburn was voted down by the public. So we can say all we want about how legislation, as I talk about below, is kind of holding back the leaps and bounds we should be making with wastewater recycling. But in many senses, we're not even ready socially for recycled wastewater. So putting all these thoughts together, what am I getting at? I'm getting at the fact that, as I talk about in my vlog, there are some things that we can do with legislation to make it easier and to make these innovative steps with wastewater. But also the other jigsaw piece are the social things. We need to bring Australia's water literacy up, also bring the legislation up to where they can lock together and we can actually make the leaps and bounds that we can with wastewater engineering. That way we can solve some of the biggest issues on the horizon for our society. One of those being water scarcity.